So let's get LM Studio. I just googled LM Studio and the first thing that pops up is LM Studio. So let's click on that, and I have Windows, so I'm just gonna download LM Studio for Windows, and it's downloading, and it's gonna take a minute, so I'm gonna put y'all on pause real quick. Alrighty, the reason we want LM Studio is because we can connect DeepSeek R1. Okay, and so we are just about there. 2 seconds left. And we're going to go ahead and give her the old install here. And this should be for anyone who uses my computer, dude. I don't like restrictions. Nobody else uses it but me. Yes. Program files, LM Studio, that's cool. That's a good place to put it. And so it's installing. Well, it's setting up. I guess it is installing. So it's not taking too long. I'm just going to leave y'all here for a second so y'all can see how long this takes and go through the steps. So it's going to take a little bit longer. Completing, run it, yes. Okie doke. Use models through an in-app chat user interface and OpenAI compatible. Get my first LLM. Alright, I'm gonna get my first LLM. Download my first LLM. Get started with a small, fast, and easy to use model. Blah blah blah. It's a 1.3 gigs. It's the 1 billion parameter llama model. Okay, let's see, embed local LLM service or log in. That's enabled. Enable local LLM service on login. This, yes. And I want to skip the onboarding because I don't really want to download that model right now, but that's a good small model for anyone who doesn't have a GPU. So I would recommend just getting that one, and then you can always add more later. My models, your local LLMs will show up here. Click that to discover LLMs to download. You have 0 local models, taking up 0 disk space. Under models directory, user, owner, LM Studio models. Let's see if I can change this and get under the right models here. So I'm gonna put y'all on pause because I already have a bunch of models. I shouldn't have to pull anything. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna download a model because that's what you're gonna do. And right here we're under the chat section. Up here on the left, down is the developer section, down 1. And this is the My Models section. We don't have any yet. So we're going to search for models under Discover. And then DeepSeek R1 7B is right here on top. And so we're just going to go down here and download it. Oops, wrong button. And it's going to download. And so while that takes roughly 10 minutes, I'm going to put y'all on pause here. Alright, mission control, we got download complete. So it appears we can load our model right here, or we can load it down here. So I'm just going to close that, and let's go ahead and load that model. And so it's apparently loaded, and can you teach me how to solve a Rubik's Cube? Let's see if he can teach us how to solve a Rubik's Cube. So it's going to run up this model, and it is thinking. And so we're in the chat section, we're in an unnamed chat, and I just clicked on the thing, And so he's going to tell us how to solve it layer by layer. He says the bottom layer first, then the top, and then the middle. And these are all the different turns that you got to do. These are the different algorithms you got to do. And blah, blah, blah. And so, okay, that wasn't too bad. 18 seconds for that. So, okay. We go to my models, and we can see that we have DeepSeek running right here. And if I go to developer mode, supported endpoints, developer logs, this is ready. And so in here, server's not running, which I can turn it on at any time, it looks like. I can eject this model. It is ready to roll. And let's see if I can, there we go. Now this model is running and it's being served on these ports right here. Localhost, blah blah blah. LM Studio server logs are saved into that location. Just-in-time model loading active. So we are up and running on port. Server is listening on port 1234. Okay, so I can access that. Cool. So it's reachable at this address right here. So all I have to do is copy this address, and I can utilize this address also right up here. I can copy this address and utilize it in, I can set it in my Bolt.Diy to be able to utilize DeepSeek with Bolt. So that's what I'm going to do next. But first, I got to run to the store. Alright y'all, I'm back and I finally figured it out. I had to use Windsurf to help me figure it out. I just, went through screenshots with the errors showing up in the terminal and all that kind of stuff, and it not connecting, because just so y'all can see what's going on here, I got DeepSeek up and running on LM Studio, and LM Studio is running the DeepSeek model on the local server down here where my mouse is circling, and you can just copy that address. It's 1234, and you can see that we are running up here. You do have to click this button to run your model, and it's showing up right here, and you can actually see that you can copy and paste that address into its own terminal to see it, or into its own tab to see it. And so in order to get this working, you have to open up your side panel here and go down to the very bottom and click settings. Come on, settings. Click your settings, and over here you select providers. It should already be on that tab. And then you scroll down to where it says LM Studio, and this is where you have to paste in for the base URL. You actually have to copy this right here from LM Studio where it's running, and you have to paste it in right here for LM Studio. And if you're running Ollama without LM Studio, you'll paste in the base Ollama, your Ollama base URL under Ollama and paste that in. And so I will do that. It's something like I can't remember what it is, so I got to go find it and paste it in. But I'm running through LM Studio, so I don't need to do that. So I can just, you don't have to save or nothing. Once you paste this in there, there's no save. You can just close this and it'll save it. And then you can get your models to appear over here, okay? Otherwise, it'll be red right here, and I even pasted the URL in here. So you just click the pencil and paste the URL in and click OK. And now I lost it, and I shouldn't have done that. And so let me just reload, and it should fix it. There we go. And so our model is on the 7B. We definitely want the 7B model. And now I should be able to test it out. And let's see. Hold on. Alright, so I'm just going to tell him, build me a futuristic Space Invaders game with lots of colors and graphics. And sound as well. Good sound effects. Alright, that's pretty simple. So let's see what we can do here. Let's see if he can do it. Alright, he's going to work, so golly. Finally, have been able to get this guy to go to work for me. And so we can see that he is streaming a response over here under our developer logs. That's nice. And so I'm under the developer section. If you remember from the earlier part of the video, I'm having a hard time remembering because I done went to the store and all that kind of stuff. So let's just minimize him and make this full screen. And he says, okay, he needs to help the user build a futuristic Space Invaders game using Node.js, and let's break down what needs to be done, and blah, blah, blah. And so let's see what he can actually do for us here. And so we can give him files, and we can download or export chat. And this is model settings. Okay. Alright, so it looks like he's switching over into the complete. Click to open workbench, huh? Futuristic Space Invaders game? Really? There ain't no workbench. I need to tell him, you started out real good, and now you need to keep going. And let's see if he'll keep going. So he's finally writing some code, but I'm not seeing it. It's supposed to be popping up over here in the code part. Huh. I wonder why it's not showing up over here where it should be. I'm using my resources though. I can hear it. I can hear that fan going. Oh yeah, my GPU. It's using some nice memory there. 93% of my 3D capabilities. Basically 93% of overall. Half my memory, 6 out of 12 gigs. It's also working my processor at 44%. using, looks like about 15 gigs out of my 32 memory. So he's making me a whole bunch of files, but he's not putting them where they go. He's not putting them over here for some reason. Preview mode, code mode. He's supposed to be putting them over here in the code mode. So I gotta figure out what's going on there. Huh. That's interesting. Alright, well, even though I'm up and going, I'm not really up and going.